And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. Inside Sports, Fantasy Football. Check out the latest show there or on the Lakers Fast Break because it is an all-encompassing episode. We talked the NBA trade deadline, so see which of our predictions came true. Plus also our Super Bowl predictions. And we were live when Mark Williams became a Laker. So go ahead and check that out today on Inside Sports, Fantasy Football, and of course, the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Of course, also as well, John Costa's here. Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Go ahead and subscribe today. Like as well everything that he puts out there. Also want to give a big shout out to Zachary, who has Lakers Live. His channels, we're going ahead live on them too. So big shout out to Lakers Live. Of course, Empire Jeff TV, covering the Lakers and the Dodgers. Of course, also as well, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. Yo! Of course, also the Lakerholics crew at Lakerholics.com. Alfred Esmond, Legend 350, whose team lost tonight to the Lakers. Sorry, Legend. And also as well, of course, all the good things that Stone Hansen did earlier today. Give him a shout out at report_court. Follow and like and do whatever you can to help those guys out. But make sure you help us out as well with a like and subscribe. And also don't forget, we've got some great inside stuff for you. Become a member today for just $2.99 a month. Videos, shorts, articles. They're all waiting for you. Sometimes member exclusive polls. So there you go as well. Badges, emojis. Where else can you get a Joe emoji? A Sean emoji? A John Costa emoji? But by being a member right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast. Well, the Lakers coming off the high of one of the best trade deadlines ever, if not the best ever for them, with getting Luka Doncic, who may or may not be on Saturday. More likely now, the word is that they're leaning towards a Monday debut for him. I just want to let everybody know. But him is sitting on the sidelines. Also as well, Mark Williams, who is going to be in the lineup hopefully soon as well, coming over from Charlotte. But the Lakers still had some work to do today, even with a short-handed roster, as they faced another short-handed roster due to trades that they made the previous evening in the Golden State Warriors as they met at the Crypt. And I'll tell you what, from the get-go, that first half, they should bottle it up and be able to use that anytime they want because they looked sensational in the first half. LeBron looked like he was 20 years younger. It was good LeBron, young LeBron for a time. Also as well, just the passing, absolutely finishing. They were getting ahead time and time again in transition, and the Lakers in the first half seemingly could not do anything wrong as they gathered up a 20-point lead plus the Golden State Warriors. But the Golden State Warriors started to catch the Lakers off guard. Lakers start missing shots, getting a little bit sloppy with the ball in the third quarter. And Golden State started to come back. And once they got hot from three with Steph Curry hitting those threes once again, even though he was 6 for 20, he did hit a few late in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter to bring the Golden State Warriors by as close as 5 points. But they just didn't have enough to get over the hump as the Lakers held them off with some clutch free throws down the stretch, clutch plays by LeBron, and the fact that LeBron is the second player ever at age 40 to have a 40-point plus game rode the Lakers to a victory tonight, 120 to 112. And here today to talk about it and discuss it are great guys indeed. I don't think Joe is going to come on. I think he's kind of pooped. He's had a long day like me. So I think we need to cut him some slack because I know everybody's going to ask, where's Joe? Where's Joe? Well, Joe probably won't be here today. He may, but he also might be crashing out on the couch. So go ahead and give him some slack. Well done, my friend. Well done on a good day for you, my friend. It is, of course, though, the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live simulcast. It is, of course, the Magic Man, Sean Grice. And Sean, great to have you here. Tormentor of all tormentors to one Joe Soro, if you heard the last 2.5 hours. great to have you here, my friend. They just basically just stormed out in that first half, and I think that's what did it for them. They had just enough gas to get the job done. Golden State, they're a little older, they're a little slower, not quite as athletic. They rely heavily on guile and good shooting. They didn't get what they wanted in that first half, and they didn't get just enough to go ahead and overcome the Lakers' first half on a way to a victory for LA.
No, yeah, Gerald, you left out irritable bowel syndrome because all they seem to be doing is complaining to the refs.
Do I have to mention him? Yes, Draymond Green doing Draymond Green stuff.
He
Yeah,
is literally, he is, Draymond Green could literally be the face of irritable bowel syndrome.
yeah. Corbina though, tell Max to hit his threes because he was 0 for 3 for tonight.
Gerald, the Lakers did a really good job of two things defensively. One is you're right,
Mm-hmm.
Curry heated up a little bit at the end of the third
Mm-hmm.
and the fourth, but he got 37 points on 35 shots.
Yep,
If
got to make
he's
him work
only
for it.
at if he's only averaging a point per shot attempt, I will take that every day and twice on Sunday. Uh, Not to mention the fact, Gerald, he has as many turnovers as he did assists. So you really made him inefficient. And if you make him inefficient, they're not good enough anymore to make a run and give themselves a chance. Now they gave themselves a chance, but we gave it to them. We handed it to them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they actually were aggressive and put the onus on themselves to try and win the game. We made mistakes. We turned the ball over. And then we got our act together about halfway through the fourth quarter, smartened up a little bit. And even though Austin had an inefficient shooting night, Gerald, he still got to the line 16 times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Austin is doing what he does. And I hope that doesn't disappear with Luka because Austin's very adroit at cutting, running, diving to the hoop, Gerald, being advantageous enough to put himself in opportunities where he can get fouled and go to the line. So I really hope that Luca's just processing all of this, Gerald, as he's watching what strengths he can utilize and what he needs to do to maybe turn a weakness into a strength for somebody else. Uh, on another note, it took LeBron and Jared Vanderbilt having doubles in rebounds tonight for us
Mm-hmm.
to even stay in the game. 31 out of the 46 boards between two players, Gerald. I know we're shorthanded. It's
And they got killed on the offensive boards, though. That was
nobody
unpleasant to watch.
boxing out. Yeah, nobody boxing out. And I'm sure a lot of them were just fatigued by the end of the game because you're shorthanded and you're just trying to play your rear end off. But yeah, we got killed on the offensive boards.
Once again, it is Magic Man Sean Grice along with me, Gerald Glassford. Wanted to go ahead and make sure everybody knows the Lakers win 120 to 112. They're 30 and 19, and right now, with still a few seconds left to play for the Clippers, they are in fifth place, still in the Western Conference, but they are now a game behind Houston in the Western Conference at 30 and 19. And here today to go ahead and also discuss today's game, good man indeed. He did head up and speared our awesome playback.tv slash live Lakers fast break coverage, along with Laker Nick, along with Danny, along with Joe, along with Sean, along with Xbox, along with Henry, all those great guys. It is, of course, the guy behind Clutch Talk at Lakers Corner. Of course, it's John Costa. And John, great to have you here, my friend. I want to ask your thoughts on the game, primarily about one Draymond Green. Every now and then, over the past couple months, seemingly every season now, we hear right around trade time as far as all the names that get thrown at us in the chat. You see all the names. I don't want to go over the same list because that list is endless. But one name that always gets thrown out randomly is Draymond Green. Hey, how about getting Draymond Green on the Lakers? Oh, how about getting Draymond Green on the Lakers? And I'm like, Are you serious? Are you absolutely serious? So you see a game bot like him tonight where the kind of impact he makes on the game is a little bit positive and really negative at times with his constant arguing, his constant trying to get in fights and scuffles, uh, underhanded stuff that he does, and also the fact that he costs his team with a technical. That guy, the hothead that he is, seemingly has not learned his lesson, and in this case, it just reinforces the fact that, man, whoever thought that a good idea would be to have him on the Lakers was absolutely just kidding themselves, John.
Absolutely, man. It's just it's the people that are on the LeBron camp because Draymond Green is like a LeBron James disciple. But honestly, about Draymond Green, I said this, on the live stream, like, on the playback. Stephen Curry is sick and fucking tired of this, dog. Like, I'm telling y'all, and I know y'all agree. And I forget who it was in the playback that said, I think it was CJ. Shout out our boy CJ. He agreed to me. He was like, I've never seen Stephen Curry have such bad body language. He was tired of this shit. He's like, dude, every time we get into some shit, you always across that fucking line. You always do too much, and it always results in a technical. And honestly, I hate this narrative that, like, wow, Draymond Green's like, the enforcer, the tough guy. He's not a fucking tough guy. He's a grown man that has no controls of his emotions. Like, I'm not trying to, disrespect him. I'm not trying to do anything like that, but it's like, dude, if you cannot control your emotions in an emotional game of basketball, you now become a freaking liability time and time and time again. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. As the game gets, as you go up and play in higher levels of the game, there becomes a whole mind game of this shit. Like, I guarantee players sometimes are out there purposely getting under Draymond Green's skin, get a technical. Oh, appreciate you. Now it's a free point. Now I'm laughing in your face. And Draymond Green, he can't even control his emotions. That makes him more mad. That is a fucking liability. And honestly, I'm not going to sit here and harp on that all day, but Gerald, you asked me about that. So just giving you, my take on that. And it's ridiculous. But
And Legend 350, awesome individual. And Golden State is one of his teams, and he even admits to saying that, it is a detriment. In fact, it cost them a 2016 championship, in his opinion, as he said in the chat. It's just the thing is, John, you could tolerate that when Draymond Green was at that high level of defensive ability, when he was one of the premier defenders in the league. I could see you tolerating all the other stuff he brought to the table, John. But when his deterioration in his game starts to slide, which it has now because he's older and it happens to everybody, the only thing that still has stayed at a high level is that other stuff. The other stuff that he still does, the irritability, the underhanded stuff, the going after people, the emotional play, the technicals, all that other stuff, that has remained. While his play has declined, that other stuff, John, it's still at the same as it ever was.
I know. And
you're getting less of a good return because of it.
Absolutely right. And it's just like, man, and even at his height, to do that, like, those are the little mistakes that, like you were saying, Legend believes that it was the reason that they lost the 2016 finals. And I know a lot of people say, like, oh, well, like, he shouldn't have been suspended. Well, you can't just go around kicking people in the nuts all season long and not expect some type of like a consequence to this. So, I mean, clearly the guy hasn't learned, but we're not here to talk about the guy. Hey, appreciate you because you got us like 2 technicals tonight, or you got us one that got us a free bucket. So thanks, brother. Glad we were able to win even without that, because we won more than that. But to talk a little bit on the Lakers, because that's what we do over here, man. The Lakers fast break, the Lakers corner. Let's talk about the good shit, right? Let's talk about what was great. That first quarter, really that first half, like, man, me and Joe were on the playback, and it was just like there was in the second quarter when LeBron came down, boom, one, and then another one, boom, half court, and it was just like to us, it's like you're just laughing at this point. You're like, wow, like everything has just been fucking gold. Defense was amazing. Ball movement was amazing. Shout out our boy CJ, who was saying, like even LeBron was trying hard and giving effort on defense in that first quarter. I mean, that first half. Now what we did in the second half, and especially that third quarter, was wicked. We got wrecked by that zone. But hey, we got the win. We were able to keep them at arm's length, and a win is a win, baby. And everyone that's here in the Lakers corner stream, appreciate you. Everyone that people here locked in, and I'm happy to be here, man. Lakers win. You always gotta be happy.
Always happy to have you here, my friend. Once again, it is the Lakers winning 120 to 112. They are 30-19 on the season. Now a game behind Houston in the Western Conference, and here today to discuss that. He is still awake. And again, as I said before he came on the air, I credit him for being a great part. In fact, he did a great job. He even got 2 extra hours with Stone in there as well today. So all the credit in the world goes to him. It is, of course, the guy behind Oxanti47 at LakersBall.com. Simblades, his company, Simblades for the Y.com. And of course, if you guys really want to help out Joe, buy the indie fighting game of the year, Corrupt, Coreupt on Steam. It is Joe Soro. Joe, glad to have you here. I know we're turning the page in many ways on many opinions that we normally give. That first half was a clinic on how everything you want to do is right. I understand that maybe have been a little bit gassed in that second half, kind of let them back into the game. They kind of found their stroke a little bit on Golden State's side. But you know what? This game was really should have never been in doubt, Joe.
Very interesting stat lines today too. Austin went 16 of 17 from the free throw line, and he went 0 for 9 from 3. If he had hit
so much for that 37% for him.
He was doing a lot of the ball handling duties. Maybe he just kind of got gassed a little bit there, but the difference between the first and second half is the Lakers just couldn't shoot as well as they did the first half. And they've been shooting well for the last few games. Every team makes a run. Warriors made a run, but they never really were close. The 6-point lead, 5-point lead. A lot of times when you're coming back from 20 and you get it to 5 or 6, you spend a lot of energy to get there, and then you kind of reel back. And that's pretty much what they did towards the end. I'm not going to talk anymore about certain players on the Golden State Warriors because it's a waste of time, and I'm tired of talking about morons. So I'm just going to focus on the game. The game was an homage, if you will, of how great LeBron James is. I mean, LeBron is playing like a top 5 player right now. And I would like to know who the other 4 players are. I know it's Shea. I know it's Jokic. And that's like the first 2 that come to mind. Luka would probably be in there if he was playing, but I'm talking about right now.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, I'm talking about right now as the season has gone. LeBron is playing phenomenal basketball, and I can only be excited when Luka finally gets here, hopefully on Monday, and seeing how this team can start to connect, pardon the pun, and see where they'll be after the All-Star break. I'm very, very excited for it. I think they have enough time to mesh before the end of February. Not completely mesh, but at least kind of get at least a week and a half to 2 weeks of games under their belt. And then they'll be able to have some reinforcement here to have that tough schedule at the end of February through the middle of March to hopefully maybe get inside that 4 area, maybe the 3 area, because if they can get a 3 seed, things could get very interesting, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Speaking of that, Magic Man, I did announce earlier that the Lakers are 30-19. They're fast closing on Houston. We talked about how Houston may have been playing a little bit above their heads and that they would be falling back to earth at some point in time. We mentioned this about 2-3 weeks ago. Well, that time has happened for them. They're starting a free fall. They've lost 5 in a row. They're
And
4 and 6.
free
I
falling.
fallen. Yep. Rest in peace, Tom Petty.
Rest in peace,
4 and
Tom
6.
Petty.
4 and 6 in their last 10.
Shut up, Joe. We're talking about Tom Petty. You could just. I feel like being the Joker here, just moving you off.
Joe, how do you do these sound effects?
We do not
go to the react button.
We do not
It's the react
negotiate with terrorists.
He's logged in. He's logged in with me as the host.
Joe's just a jerk. Everybody, Tom Petty, the late Tom Petty, was a great American, great guitar player, probably the greatest jam musician of his era. But continue, Joe.
No, I was just going to say, because again, Houston is free falling.
They are.
And 4th place looks obviously very, very good right now. Denver is just doing just enough to stay ahead of the Lakers, but you know what? They're on the horizon as well. A matchup with them, that could be a game in the Lakers' favor that they make up. That's not in the too distant future themselves. They've got some easy games ahead after the Indiana game. This is a chance to really gain some ground on both Memphis, Denver, and Houston in the next 5 games, Magic Man.
100%, Joe. It's the time. I think they're 9-1 now in the last 10 games. So, I mean, we talked about this on a previous show. By the way, having learned about the trade, but we were talking about, there's potential for this team even before they acquired Luka to kind of go on a heater here. Potentially go into that Denver game with maybe a 9-game winning streak. Now, it's a bit ambitious. That being said, when you got Luka Doncic on your team, I feel pretty confident about winning most games, Gerald. So we'll see. I expect Houston and the Clippers and take your pick out on one of those teams. Somebody's bound to get hot amongst them. The Wolves, the Suns. Who else is bottleneck there? Gerald, the Kings, the Warriors, the Spurs. Somebody's bound to get there. I think 3 teams are going to end up scratching and clawing for the 6th seed. Wouldn't surprise me if Houston, the Clippers, and then again one of those playing teams goes on a bit of a run. But yeah, I expect them to still slide, and I expect the Lakers or Denver to finish in that 3rd spot. So one of them is going to finish 3rd, one's going to finish 4th.
There you go. Well said, my friend. John, just to let you know, when you host a show, just look for the react button and the prompts will come up there for you.
Okay, sounds good. I appreciate that.
All right, let me give you a clap for that.
You are the best, Gerald.
But with that, my friend, guess who dropped a question for you and Joe? None other than Robert Wheeler. It's almost like well, I'm answering it for John here. It says Joe,
it answers
Joe
the
and
question.
John.
I
Read
answered
it right
it.
there.
It's over.
Joe and John. So you're John? Hello, John. How are you today, John?
I'm Johnny Blade on Facebook.
It answers a question.
Not here on this show.
Hold on, Gerald. It answers a question. It does this whenever it's told.
Oh, man. Robert, great question. Robert, great question.
Puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
Yes. Robert, great question.
Let me read the question for the audio audience here. Joe and John, if the Lakers end up winning a title this year, would you still want LeBron to retire after this year?
Man, LeBron, he's not doing that. And no, I mean, if we won the title, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But he's
Hopefully
not
it's
doing
a little
that.
cheaper though.
Yeah, he's not exactly. Hopefully it's a little cheaper, but he's not doing that. And you know, I feel like if we're talking about LeBron retiring, bro, we already know this guy's going on a retirement tour. And if this guy can, if he can make it a 2-year tour, this guy might fuck around and make it a 2-year tour. So no, I appreciate your question, Robert, but to answer your question, like, no, because if we win, he'd probably be a big contributor of that, unless you roll the bench the whole time. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But no, I really hope we do not get Ben Simmons after the buyout. I actually pray to the Lord.
Akayo, they can't. His contract again. The Lakers as a tax team, I got it corrected for me by Mike in one of our chats. It is 12.8 million. If a player has more than 12.8 million on their contract that they had for this year, the Lakers as a tax team cannot get them. So Kayo, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. They are not eligible to get Ben Simmons. I know they're working on a buyout, but they are not eligible to get Ben Simmons this season. But if he is a free agent and is eligible, then you might want to look at that then. But that's another issue for another day. But yeah, John, don't worry. You will not get Ben Simmons on a buyout. It's against the CBA rules.
And you don't want to. He's a quitter.
I don't want the guy. The guy's a quitter.
On this team.
Yes. You're good, baby. Hold on, sorry, y'all. My daughter's gonna say.
No worries. Well, let me just bring.
This is a Jack. This is a number one overall pick, Gerald, that has accumulated more hours playing Call of Duty than minutes played in the NBA. He has played more minutes on Call of Duty than he has in the NBA. And I'll just
Bronny James.
No, that'd be one Ben Simmons.
But Bronny James as well. Bronny James is the champion, or if you remember correctly, on Call of Duty.
Oh, I'd whip his ass. Let's go.
I'm just saying. All right.
Appreciate it.
I'd blow his head off with my bazooka.
Oh, okay. Whoa! Wow. Okay.
You know what, Gerald? Let's keep going. I'll take the father and the son in Call of Duty.
Wow. What about Madden? LeBron says he plays Madden at like 3 a.m. Do you do that, Sean?
You know what? I used to. Let's go. Okay. I challenge Ramon James to a game of Madden football.
Oh my God.
I'm challenging you to a game of Madden football. Put your money where your mouth is.
So yes, Bronny James, he won the Call of Duty tournament during the NBA Summer League. He earned a $10,000 prize. He took down Grant Williams and others to win the tournament. So there you go. Yes, like he needed the money. But anyways, Joe, I know you were absolutely thrilled to hear that. As a fellow gamer, though, and guy who is helping finance a gaming dream in the best fighting game that's out there, Crypt, Coreupt. I want to bring it back to you, my friend, though. Again, the way the Lakers are gelling now, the way the Lakers are playing with confidence, they're showing a lot of activity on defense. Vando, I will give him his credit on the defensive end, rebounding. I wish they still blocked out a lot better because they gave up too many offensive rebounds. But between him and LeBron, it was 31 rebounds tonight. What do you see from this team in the past week? Well, let's say as soon as they've gotten on the road trip, they've shown an intensity for the most part outside of that game in Philadelphia. They've shown intensity, energy, and a willingness to do what it takes to win, which we have not seen for the most part of the season.
Yeah, their defense has been pretty good, better than at any time during the season. The chemistry together, their cohesion is great. LeBron is playing MVP ball, and when it comes to basketball, guys, if you're not working things out well in certain areas, you make up for it in other areas. So a good example tonight is looking at Austin Reeves. His stat line is good in some places and bad in some places. He didn't do well shooting the ball. He was terrible shooting the ball, but he made up a lot in hitting his free throws, had 3 steals tonight, and still scored 23 points. And he played 36 minutes. He handled the ball most of the night, which, even though LeBron got tired, probably spelled LeBron just enough so that LeBron had a little juice left at the end. And that's it's 82-game season, guys. You're not going to get everything all the time, and this is still Austin Reeves. He's not going to be an Anthony Edwards. He's not going to be a Shea Gilgeous. You have to appreciate what he's done and what he's doing, and I do. As far as Vanderbilt, if Vanderbilt plays like he does tonight on the defensive end and gets 14 rebounds, that's good for me. And he had some nice moments in this game. A lot of stuff that doesn't show up in the stat sheet. And I would like to see him do more of what he did the putback earlier in the game. I thought that was great. I think he's capable of doing that more. And I'd like to see him do that. Gabe Vincent, that looks like has finally, I think, gotten well, guys. If he's open, he's making that shot. He's been hitting that shot for a while. And
5 of 8 tonight from 3.
To answer Natalia's question, I don't see any reason why, if this is how he's playing right now, I don't see why he would change in the playoffs. If you look at the run that they had in 2023 during the playoffs, he actually had a pretty good playoff until he got to the finals. That's where he but Denver was going to.
He is a streaky shooter, though, Joe. He is a very streaky shooter, and he gets on one. He is really tough to stop.
I remember there used to be a streaky shooter on this team who could play a little defense. His name was Contavious Caldwell-Pope. I remember several times during the season when he would go cold for like a week. People wanted to throw him into the fire. They wanted to trade him for 4 bags of hot Cheetos and a candy bar. I heard it all year. But in the end, you don't trade and you don't quit on guys that can play some defense and hit shots when it's timely needed. And that's what I believe Gabe Vincent could do and can do based off what I've seen here in the last few weeks. And then the role players, even Jackson Hayes, despite his issues, he still had a good game tonight, guys. Played 25 minutes, made almost all his shots, and scored 11 points. Guys, certain guys have talent, and they got to do what they got to do with that talent, and I'm very happy with that. And that run that Golden State made was simply because this is the NBA. Every single team makes a run, and the reason why I got kind of testy a little bit was because the Lakers couldn't make a shot. Couldn't make a shot. But Golden State is that bad, and Steph Curry is still good, so he kept them in it. And you saw what you saw in the second half, but in the end, it was kind of nice. They got a little uncomfortable, and they were able to battle through it, and they still won. So that's good. I'm very happy with what's going on right now. I'm just counting the days until Monday, and then I don't know how I feel about Saturday yet. I don't know what to think on how that's going to play out.
Monday.
Yeah, I know about Saturday.
Wait, is he going to play? Luka's going to play this Saturday?
No,
he is doubtful.
I don't know what the Lakers are going to do Saturday. Pay attention, John.
Well,
the word from JJ is that he's doubtful for Saturday. Most likely, they're leaning towards Monday.
Okay.
Abraham, I do want to mention to you, yes, he is thinking about getting a Luka jersey, and that's the best he's ever done by putting someone else. And hold on. He has apologized 3 times on the air, Abraham, to Rob and Jeannie already. He's already don't have to do it again. Please don't do it again.
So here's what I'm doing with the Luka jersey. I'm going to have the Mamba jersey with the Luka info on it. That's it's going to be an authentic. I don't wear replicas. This is the first jersey I've bought in 20 years. So Luka got me to buy a jersey or make a jersey. So it's going to be the Black Mamba black with the Luka info.
Wow, I see. Bronny is a bridge too far. He's not going to buy a Bronny jersey. That's a bridge too far for Justin.
And I've also, because of the Genie.
You're upsetting Joe a little bit, Gerald. You're upsetting him a little bit.
No, the chat was asking about it. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, the chat's upsetting him a little bit.
To help ease the pain of me being a douche to Genie and Rob, I'm also not going to criticize Bronny James.
Wow. I know he said that last night. I couldn't believe that was almost as unbelievable as the Lakers getting the Luka Doncic. So, wow.
I criticize him. It'll be based off the play. Why did you do that like everybody else? That's it. But I'm not going to cringe every time he gets in anymore.
Are you sure? Okay. Well, it'll be on playback regardless. But it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Lakers do win.
When am I not sure?
Oh, you might lose your cool sometimes because he might.
Yeah, if it's basketball related.
Mhm.
Did you listen to what I said?
Yes.
Pay attention next time.
Shut up, Joe. Once again, it is, of course, the
You
Lakers winning
insulted him a
120.
little bit. You insulted him.
Yes, just a little bit.
Okay.
120 to 112. The Lakers
You
win.
go home and get your shine box, Joe.
You guys are wild.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
He's almost as quiet now as he was when we got Luka.
That shit was crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the first time anyone's ever told Joe to go get his shine box.
I don't understand what's so funny.
Okay. On that note, let me go ahead and bring it over to John while these two
You guys
play with
okay?
each
You
other.
guys need a minute to relax?
John, again, the
Perfectly
Lakers
relaxed.
now, they could go on a real run. We talked about this before in January when they had the same opportunity of some easy games on the schedule. It didn't quite work out that way for them. They didn't take full advantage. Some of it wasn't their doing because of the fires, of course. Some of it was their own doing. But now they've got some easy games on the schedule. Indiana's not going to be an easy game. I understand that. A sports baby would tell you. They beat the Clippers tonight. But if they get by them, they've got some real easy games before they play against Denver. Your thoughts on how they could keep their focus and also get a lot of reps for Luka when he comes into the lineup? Most likely Monday, but possibly Saturday as well.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. In life, when you miss your opportunity the first time, you usually don't get another chance. But the Lakers are getting another chance at it, man. Getting another crack at it. Maybe it's whatever. God out here looking out for the Lakers, saying, "Here you go. Here's another chance," because we messed up that first run when we could have. We're going through a relatively easy stage in the season. I remember that one stint in January, I believe it was, where we had like a hell of home games. Like we weren't leaving LA for hella long, and we never turned that into anything. But now we have an opportunity coming up because look at our next games. Look, we got the Pacers, which that'll be a tough team. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is so inconsistent, man, that you just never know what Tyrese are going to get that night. But we got two Jazz, the Hornets, the Blazers, and then the Nuggets. So exactly like how you were talking about, Gerald, like we could really make something happen. And then come February 25th, sparks will fly because that is the Lakers versus the Mavericks. And as far as Luka returning, honestly, Joe, you put it best when you said like, I don't even know what to think. Like, fuck, like I'm just gonna see what happens when he gets here. Like I'm still mind boggled. I remember before I seen him like Luka at the Lakers bench, I was thinking like, dude, like no way. Like, are they gonna just come out all of a sudden and be like, we're just fucking kidding. You guys got bamboozled.
John, he can go ahead and dribble the basketball down the court with one hand and have a Pabst Blue Ribbon in the other hand. I still wouldn't fucking trade him.
Yeah, he's straight the fuck up, man. Straight the fuck up, Sean. So, yeah, I mean,
you want a cold one during the game, Luka? I will gladly go to the store and pick you up
a cold one and leave it ready for you, my brother. Ready for you.
Oh, like we'll stack them. I'll make sure he's got at least 4 cases every game.
And I hope I'm putting it out there because I do not want to even miss the beginning of it. But I really hope Luka returns on Monday because the Lakers play on Saturday at 1 p.m. and my daughter has a basketball game at 1 p.m., which I wouldn't miss the whole game because she's 4. Her basketball games are only 45 minutes, but still
you're doing it for total selfish purposes.
Yes, I really need that because I want to see that entire. I want to see pregame. I want to see every second of that.
Well, ESPN, the ABC/ABC ESPN, they flexed that game in. That was not originally on the TV schedule. They flexed that in because I think they got word that he might be eligible for that game or he might going to be playing that game. So there is a slight chance he could play in that game. But again, if they're leaning towards Monday, I would suspect Monday it is. But you never know. The little birds at ESPN might drop in their heads, "Hey, Luka, come on, help us out. Be great."
Come Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please come Monday, Luka.
So, John, before I send it over to Joe, or I can send it over to Magic Man, excuse me. JY's asking our starting five. I mentioned our starting five yesterday, but it bears repeating again. Your starting five for the Lakers when Luka and Mark Williams come into the lineup, who I have not heard when he's going to be able to play, whether it's Saturday or Monday as well.
So I'm a big proponent on matchups, and it's going to depend on who we're playing that night. I would say, I guess the natural answer would be, that AR and Luka in that backcourt. But I just fear if we're going up against a really elite backcourt, I just really fear the defensive end. Like we don't have nobody. AR can't hide Luka, and Luka can't hide AR. And when you have a liability on defense, which both of those guys are, you need a player to hide them. So to answer the question, I would leave it on the game by game basis, but essentially it would be Luka, maybe a Dorian Finney-Smith, a Bron, Rui and Williams. But again, it just depends on who we're going to play that night, because if we're not going to play as dominant of an offensive backcourt, then I do think you can run with that Luka and Reeves lineup. So I know it's kind of long-winded.
You need more than one rebound from DFS.
You do.
Yeah, that's true. But my is changed, a little slight change on mine. I would go DFS and Luka in the backcourt. I would go Rui and LeBron at the front line, and then Mark Williams at center. Again, Austin Reeves' best position for a championship run team, which we may now consider that this possibly could be, is coming off the bench as a sixth man. I know he doesn't like to hear that. I know he wouldn't want to hear that, especially because, again, he'll be playing for another contract. But, again, Joe, myself, Sean, we've all talked over the years about how that is his best position on a championship level team. And guess what? When you get Luka and LeBron together, that is a championship level team. Joe, you put it in the chat. Who is your starting five again for our audio audience out there?
Hold on, I'm deleting somebody. What was that?
Oh, you were deleting somebody? Okay.
What was the question?
What your starting five? Because for our audio audience.
Starting five is going to be Luka, Reeves, DFS, LeBron, and Williams.
You're not worried about the defensive liability?
That's what it's going to be.
I hear, but I'm just asking you a question.
Don't ever ask me a question again.
Well, there's another one. Are you worried about the defensive liability?
No.
Okay.
Liability where they've been playing good defense without Luka or Williams this last few games.
For sure, but adding in Luka and Reeves, two defensive liabilities in the backcourt could be.
Reeves hasn't really been a liability lately.
It's the same troll that bothers us every now and then. Past couple of days, I got rid of him. I just banned him again. He's gone.
The Warriors won a championship with Steph Curry and Jordan Poole in their backcourt.
I really think some. Yeah, good point, Sean. I really think people are forgetting what era they're in.
Let's look at this then.
Okay. Someone had mentioned, I forgot who it was earlier today. They said that the Lakers in 01 were ranked 21st on defense. And you all know what happened in 01 with the Lakers.
Yeah.
But you had Kobe and Shaq. So there's give and takes.
I know it's a skewed stat because Kobe was out for about 15 games. But guys, we'll be fine. Lakers will be fine.
Man, Magic Man, that's a good point. But man, if I'm asking you an honest question, did you really think that Celtics team that the Warriors played were really ready for that? Because the Warriors won, and credit to them, Stephen Curry went dumb off, but they won because they just knew how to win. They had been there before, and the Celtics had never been there before. And after they went and failed a couple of times, they ended up.
Yeah, but John, Denver had never been to the finals, and they whooped Miami, who had been there and been competing. That's not always the case.
You're right. It's not always the case. But
the reason why the Celtics lost that series is the reason why they've always lost in the Eastern Conference Finals or in that finals, and that is they go cold. They go cold in major spurts. The reason why they won last year was they were able to contain Luka enough to where he couldn't really do much other than score, and they made Kyrie Irving look like he didn't know how to play basketball.
And they targeted Luka on defense every time, every single time. But okay, no, I mean,
and Missoula he outcoached Jason. I mean, again, Jason Kidd. I don't know.
What's Gerald say about Jason Kidd? What's Gerald's go-to quote about Jason Kidd, Joe? And Joe has no answer.
I'm trying to monitor the chat, you ass.
I just watch the games.
There you go. Absolutely. Yep. I remember that. Absolutely.
Yeah, just ignore. Just if anybody's just spamming or being annoying as fuck. Just
I got it. It's the same guy doing it over and over again the past few games. He did it. Yeah, he gets banned every time. I got it, guys. I got you covered. I got you covered.
Real life. Think about this. And Sean, I want you to go. Okay, right after this. But real life, think about this. There's somebody out there right now, and if they're in Pacific time, it's 10 fucking o'clock, about to be 10:30. That is on the Lakers stream in the fucking chat, just trolling. Or if they're in the East
probably
Coast,
somebody we know.
Bro, come on, dude. This is fucking ridiculous. Don't even pay attention to that. Honestly, respectfully, Lions don't lose.
Well, I have to, John, because I'm actually moderating the chat on YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. So I've got the easy strike to get him out of there. I'm not going to tolerate it. You come in there with that stuff. Bye-bye. Easy. I'm just relaxed. I can do it, and I love it. However profiles this idiot makes, we will just
get it, man. Get a life, brother. Like,
love it, man. Hey,
no. Seriously, John. That's terrible for your mental health.
Like, dude,
love it.
It really
I
is.
actually take great pride in banning people like that. It is so enjoyable for me to do. Because idiots like that just realize all that effort that you made making a profile is now gone.
It's John. It's like those people who used to, stay up till like 3 or 4 in the morning watching those infomercials on TV. The unemployed, angry loners. I mean, losers. I mean, buddy, whichever one you are, take your pick. But you have an opportunity now to turn your life around rather than troll 4 guys in a chat room about the Lakers.
It's ridiculous, man. Like,
Abraham says, John, I apologize
Jack
for being
Sparrow,
hard
you need to find yourself a girl, mate.
Abraham says, John, I apologize for being hard on you. You get a pass.
When were you hard on me, Abraham? What happened? You were never. I feel like
don't argue with them. Just say it's okay, Abraham. Sounds good.
Absolutely, it's okay, Abraham. Abraham, we're all friends. It's just basketball. There's nothing somebody can tell me in a basketball.
You didn't do anything, Abraham. End of subject.
Sean, I'm going to hit you up, and again, it's 120 to 112. Robert Wheeler is asking us another good question. Sean, I'll start with you. Rank these 5 in order of importance to win an NBA title in your opinion: experience, talent, shooting, defense, and chemistry.
Oh, that's a great question.
Wow, that's a great question, actually.
I go shooting, chemistry, defense, talent, and then experience.
Shooting, defense, talent, chemistry, experience.
Joe
gave he's in the chat, but you got to say it
for our audio audience.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Talent, shooting, defense, experience, chemistry.
For me, talent, shooting, defense, experience, chemistry as well. There you go. All right.
Everybody, by the way, everybody had shooting first.
No, I had talent first. Talent, shooting, defense, experience, chemistry.
You always got to go against the grain, don't you, Joe?
Sean is classic.
And on that note, Sean, I bring it back to you. Again, the Lakers have a chance to really, again, continue the momentum. Another home game against Indiana on Saturday. It's a Saturday afternoon game because those are kind of funky for the Lakers. Your thoughts, though? Again, they're riding this wave of momentum. They've been playing really well. They've got Luka and Williams about ready to join the team and get on the floor with them around the corner. How can they sustain that momentum and not get surprised on Saturday?
I think just by playing the same way we've been playing the past week and a half, Gerald. I mean, Indiana did have a bit of a resurgence a few weeks ago, but they're kind of bobbing up and down the water themselves as whether or not they're going to be a fourth or a sixth seed or whether they're going to be a playing team. I think it's imperative the Lakers come out strong again. They just come out strong, hit them in the face. We know they're going to make a run, but at least this time, Andrew Nemhard isn't going to be there at the end of the game. I know that for damn sure. I know that for damn sure.
Good point. Good point. That's right, Eric. On Twitch, Luka is on the way. So, how satisfying is that, John, when you see this team playing so well? This is a team that's struggling before it gets Luka. This is a team that, shorthanded isn't getting the job done. They didn't have AD, and yet they've still won. They didn't have Luka, and they've still won. What kind of message does that send to the rest of the league now that Luka and Mark Williams is coming around the corner?
Watch the fuck out. Like, move, bitch. Get out the way. That's the message it brings to everybody, man. Like, the Lakers are freaking coming, Gerald. Like, man, like I said this on playback, y'all. I I could care less. I could care less like what happens this season. Guys, we when Luka signs a 5-year extension in the summer, we are almost fucking guaranteed a finals appearance. And then my boy Joe jumped in and said, yeah, we can't have no fucking finals appearance. We got to win. And you're damn right, Joe. We do got to win. So, man, like to me, it's like, dude, we're bringing in Luka. We're already starting to, we're starting to bring in the pieces that are going to work around him. The Mark Williams, like Mark Williams is a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people realize Brody is 23 years old. So Brody is really young. He matches Luka's timeline. He's a great pick and roll partner with him. He's a great rim protector. He fits the system. And what we got to remember is like, we have LeBron. LeBron is in doing whatever he's doing, but it's like in these next 5 years, you mean to tell me that there's not going to be some superstar that's somewhere in the NBA that's like, I have a chance to come play for one of the greatest franchises in NBA history, win a championship, be cemented in NBA history forever because when you win a championship with the Lakers, you're cemented in NBA history. Make one of the most money off the court because we know LA, Golden State, New York, and Boston. You make hella money just because of the market, and you can come to fucking beautiful sunny California. Come on, dude, we're almost guaranteed a finals appearance and fucking hopefully a finals win in these next these next 5 years. So I am over the fucking moon about Luka. Like seriously, guys. Like, there will be sometimes, like I'll be honest, like I was at the gym earlier and I was like talking to one of my friends, and I'm just I still can't fucking believe it. Like insane. We were over here tripping on like, damn, what are we gonna do post LeBron? Well, we got exactly what we're gonna do. We got a 25-year-old generational fucking superstar.
Joe, in the past 24 hours, I think you or I have done about 2, 4, 7, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 hours in pretty much essentially a day of full coverage for this site. And the fact is,
legends.
the reason why we're doing it is because of just the sheer momentum that we got, the energy that we got from this trade, Joe. Your thoughts on what this trade has done to really energize not only yourself, but the whole entire Lakers fan base?
The standings right now are even in the loss column from 3, 4, and 5. That's why winning these games without Luka and Williams are essential. I don't know what's going to happen on Saturday. We know that Luka's not playing Saturday. There's no word if Williams is playing, but I'm going to guess probably not. I think the official trade didn't happen until I think a few hours ago. The Lakers put out a press release about it. So I don't know I don't know if Williams needs a few days to get himself transferred from wherever he is. And I'm going to guess he's not going to be available Saturday for against Indiana. And it's likely that Williams and Luka will be available Monday.
It's interesting because like Jonas is Valanciunas, Zach LaVine, they're already playing in Sacramento. I know that De'Aaron, he played the next day after he got traded. It's interesting how for some players it works out like that, and for others it doesn't.
It's called being a prima donna. That's what it is.
Sorry, I don't know. We know why with Luka. He's still getting himself ready for real basketball after being out since Christmas. Williams did not get officially traded until I think a few hours ago. It's not likely because these things could fall through. It's happened.
Medicals.
Like that. So that's probably why he wouldn't be available Saturday. If the deal had been done Tuesday, I would have no doubt he'd be available Saturday. But let's cross our fingers and see if the Lakers can muster another run here without likely Williams and Luka, and then we'll probably see Luka and Williams on Monday, and we can start seeing what this team's going to be. I'm pretty excited about it.
John, I know you got to head on out, man, but before you get on out, because I think we're going to go ahead and call it an earlier day than normal for us, like under 3 hours. So with that, actually under 2. Because I think we're all gassing. Let me ask you this. Where do you go for all the good stuff that John Costa can bring to you as a sports fan?
Yes, if you guys want to check out some of my content, man, please do check out my 2 channels I have. I have Lakers Corner, that is on YouTube. Drop game recaps. I do like a 2-minute game recap. Drop that in the shorts tab. You guys can check that out. I do just like reaction videos. I just do, some film breakdowns. Check me out. Do some debates on there as well. And that is on Instagram, Lakers_corner. And on TikTok, it's Lakers corner _corner 24. But I appreciate you guys. And Twitter, it's Lakers Corner 2. And then my other channels, Clutch Talk, just talk all about the NBA. But this is the best Lakers chat room, man. So appreciate you guys being here as always. And let's pray Luka does not play Saturday and plays Monday.
No, I wanted to play Saturday.
John, I know your daughter's got a basketball game Saturday, but the quicker we could see Luka, we're all greedy.
You're right. I'm sorry.
The more reps he gets with LeBron, the
right.
sooner he gets the reps with LeBron, the better in the long term it will be for the Lakers.
You guys are absolutely right. So, but hey, I'll be supporting my daughter at her basketball game.
You could DVR it.
I can, and then I'm gonna come back for the game. I'll be here for post game and playback and all. I just don't want to miss the first quarter, but we'll figure it out. It is all good. Appreciate you guys, and I'm about to do my game recap, but I'll see you guys for sure come next game day.
Wishing you all the best. It is John Costa, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. Catch him. He's here on this channel, and also of course playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break as well. Sean, I bring it back to you. Shauno, my friend, again, the Lakers have a chance to go ahead and gain some ground with some easy games after the Indiana game. Again, sports baby, I'm going to give all the respect in the world. And of course, Indiana, they did beat Clippers, so they're not going to be a pushover by any stretch. But after that, there are some easy games, although Portland now, is Portland really an easy game any longer? Somebody tells this team to tank. They're not tanking. Sean, they won again tonight.
Yep. Both Portland and Toronto are doing a great job of showing the rest of the NBA world how not to tank, Gerald.
Yes.
Both teams are moving further and further away from the ping pong balls. I would say this against either a superior or slightly inferior opponent, I still think they're both vulnerable. So I mean, good on them. They've gone on a little bit of a streak here the past 15 games, but I'm not looking at it as the Lakers overlooking that. So this block of 5 games is really important. You should be able to go minimum 4-1. I'd like to see 5-0, but you can go minimum 4-1 before the
Well, let me
Denver
ask
game.
you. Okay. Well, let me ask you then, and I'll bring it back over to Joe next. Portland, are you surprised they did virtually nothing at the trade deadline? All those bodies that we talked about possibly moving, like Grant and Simons and Ayton and Williams and all that. Nobody has moved for them. They could have had a real chance to get some real assets for the future, but it seems like they were content with what they wanted. And what they had.
Exactly. Portland didn't acquire. I don't believe they acquired anything more than maybe a second round pick, but I don't believe they got any draft capital. The Chicago Bulls got no draft capital for Nikola Vucevic. Gerald, he remains on that team.
That's another shocker to me.
For all the scuttlebutt and pub about Walker Kessler, he remains a Utah Jazz. He did not move. I just think teams are kind of buttoning up, getting ready for maybe tightening up the purse strings a little bit, Gerald, especially if they're not willing to go for it and try and make a run. Like we said, I think the most, other than the Dallas move from an organizational perspective, Gerald, I think the biggest loser of this trade deadline was the Charlotte Hornets.
Why do you say that? Because some others are saying that the Charlotte Hornets got some really good trades, including the Lakers one with all their assets that they gained.
Sure, I mean that looks good on paper, right? It always does. Like I've got this, I've accumulated this amount of draft picks, right? But I mean, we saw this. Ironically, we saw this with a previous Bill Duffy client, and when I say Bill Duffy client, I mean Luka Doncic. Steve Nash was a former Bill Duffy client as well, and Gerald, we saw the haranguing and the kind of disrespect regarding the Lakers giving the Suns 3 first-round picks. Did any of those first-round picks become any more than a second contract, Joe? Did any of them make all-star appearances? Any all-NBA appearances? So we'll see what happens. Dalton Connect is a very good prospect. And again, Gerald, but my here's my perspective. You traded away Nick Richards and Mark Williams. You traded away the center of your team. And you've now relying on a 39-year-old Taj Gibson who's more interested in getting his next paycheck than trying to teach young people how to act professionally. And you've got already a couple knuckleheads in that locker room. And you've added more young players into it's kind of funny. Like people could talk about the Toronto being the Siberia of the NBA, but like organizationally, Gerald, the Toronto Raptors treat players with respect. They class it up. They take them out for dinner. They take care of their families. I don't get that same feeling from the Wizards and the Hornets. I think they, like Joe says, it's like, what did you call it, Joe? Like champagne taste on a beer budget.
Yeah.
It was caviar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was caviar.
Caviar
Walmart prices.
All right, yeah, you used some kind of analogy there. I thought it was beer, but yeah, whatever.
That's a good one too, by the way.
I've got a question for you guys. Think about this one, Magic, for a second. I'm going to hit Joe with this one first. And once again, the Lakers do win. Tonight, 120 to 112. Lakers go to 30 and 19. Still fifth place to Western Conference, but they now are looking up at Houston, which is just one game ahead of them and tied in the loss column, along with Denver tied in the loss column as well. Let me ask you this, Joe. At the trade deadline, you put some thought to it. I'll give you a couple seconds if you need to. Your three winners and your three losers of the NBA trade deadline. Yes, I know the Lakers obviously count as one of those teams, but who else would count as among your winners and losers? Three winners, three losers of the NBA trade deadline.
Definitely Lakers number one, and as far as a winner, Phoenix definitely loser. The other winner is Dallas to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the other one? Cleveland, but no, Cleveland's not it. No, San Antonio. Sorry, San Antonio. Yeah, so I'd say San Antonio, Dallas, Lakers, Phoenix. As far as bad, I'm not going to say Charlotte, Sean. I think they actually new ownership looks like they're trying to do what Oklahoma City did, and if you don't like it, you can leave. And who else? Give me a minute here.
You can put gold all over a turd; it's still turd.
New Orleans.
Okay.
Sacramento.
Sean,
I'm putting the teams that actually did something or didn't do something.
So I'm excluding
Right.
I'm excluding the Lakers, Gerald. Okay, so the Atlanta Hawks are a winner.
Okay.
They got rid of Bogdanovich, and you added Mann and Bones Highland. But you were able to unload DeAndre Hunter, and I'm guessing the Landry Fields got a mandate to try and save cap space while also accumulating some talent, because Gerald, it just feels eventually like Trae Young's just gonna ask out of Atlanta at this point. I mean, how many years is he gonna go through this same process, Gerald? Injury problems for 6 weeks. They go on a little bit of run for the next 8. Then they end up like 27 and 25 before the All-Star break. They manage to get into a play-in or squeak into a 6 seed. I just think it's time for them to shut or get off the pot at this point. The other winner I would say would be the Pelicans, because they actually got under the cap. Like the
or you knew they would, Sean.
Yeah, the Bensons love to save money on anything.
They've never been in the
tax.
text.
They've never but isn't that interesting, Gerald? How they're willing to spend the money on their New Orleans Saints, but they're not just willing to spend the money on their New Orleans Pelicans.
Yep.
Interesting
indeed.
And then third, I would say they did absolutely nothing. So I'll say they are a winner was the Nuggets. They didn't do anything too turbulent to rock their chemistry just because everybody was making moves. Doesn't mean you have to. 3 losers. Yep. Charlotte's a loser to me. The Chicago Bulls are a big loser, Gerald. This is, again, a team that has not been able to unload Vucevic's contract, and they're still paying for it. Gerald. I mean, you gave up Wendell Carter Jr. because he wasn't developing at a rate you thought he was. I'm talking about Bulls fans, Gerald. And yet you traded him, and now he's a pretty good player. He's turned into a pretty good player, eh, Gerald?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Chicago, another trade deadline, Gerald. Another trade deadline where they don't accumulate draft capital. And I'll say the third loser would be the Los Angeles Clippers, because you just had to get in there under the wire, didn't you, Steve? Yeah, we're getting we're getting bogey. Bogdanovich and James Harden are going to lead us to 57 wins.
I'm going to deviate a little bit from you guys. The winners, Lakers, San Antonio, and Miami. I think Miami, by the process of getting rid of Jimmy, number one, and getting back a lot of workable contracts and also workable players in their rotation. No, there's no eye popper that they got back in as far as all this return. But still, they've got a lot of pieces and guys that plug holes for them that could prove to, make their defense even better going forward. So I'm going to say Miami, and just by the process of getting rid of Jimmy, I think they won out on that end. So those are my three winners. My losers are going to be Phoenix, number one, because Phoenix, you got rid of Yusuf Nurkic, but you couldn't make the big trade for Jimmy Butler. You couldn't make the big trade for Kevin Durant. You couldn't make the big trade. You needed to help your 500 teams. So in essence, you really didn't do much to help yourself. Chicago, Magic Man, you're a little bit incorrect. They did get draft capital during the process of their trades. They got their own first round pick back.
That doesn't count. I knew that. But that doesn't count.
No, well, technically it is right. But when you are that inept of an organization to where your big win with all that trades that you did is getting your own pick back, that just speaks volumes about how
that whole trade was either swapping picks or giving picks back. Yeah.
That's all it was. And just because of the ineptness you had before in giving them away in the first place, plus you didn't trade Vucevic, Io Dosunmu, who could have been another good trade asset. Just absolutely at this time
it's bad roster construction, Gerald. Yeah, they decided to go guard heavy with their lottery picks, and they decided we're going. See, ladies and gentlemen, that's not how you build a team in the NBA. That is not how you build a team in the NBA. And they've been doing the same crap since they drafted Derrick Rose. They think they'll draft the next great guard and it'll save their whole franchise.
Bloodhound with the Wizards, it's about getting money. It's about getting picks. It was all about getting picks for the Wizards. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
And that's another team. Oh, well, and somebody may offer me as like the opinion of Joe. Well, Sean, if 10 Leonsis sells the Washington Wizards to a local DC billionaire, or he could potentially turn them around. No. When you're
it's not the same GM, Ralph, that gave Beal that contract. I don't believe it's the same GM. I think they fired that GM.
It doesn't matter what Washington gave them, or what Washington.
Well, no, but Ralph was in the chat saying Wizards gave Beal that contract.
It's Phoenix for taking that contract. They're the ones that should be blamed, not Washington. Washington gave it to them. Yeah,
that's one of the reasons why they're a big loser for me on there. Phoenix again, like I said, Chicago, and then Portland and Orlando. You said, Joe, that you wouldn't slight anyone who didn't have any activity. I, on the other hand, in this case, for them, I do slight them because one in Orlando needed to be a buyer for wherever they're at right now because they've fallen on hard times after really starting out the season strong, and they needed some kind of infusion of offense. They can't even score 100 points half the time these days. And Portland, because they needed to be a seller. Yes, they're on a great run. Absolutely fantastic for them. But they've got a lot of guys that they need to go ahead and get rid of. So the guys like Donovan Clingan, Scoot Henderson, and also as well Shaden Sharp can get more minutes and get more experience. They need to clear out the way with some of those guys, and they didn't do it. So they're still pricey. They still got those contracts that are there sitting for another season, and instead they could have gotten real assets for that instead. But yeah, those are our winners and losers of the NBA trade-off season. But before we head on out, we'll just go ahead and close out with some final thoughts on the game today. We'll try to come back with a show tomorrow, recapping what's gone on and previewing the Indiana game on Saturday. But Joe, Before we head out, you and I have been here since 9 o'clock in the morning. I know that you and I have been putting in a lot of hours today and over the course of the past week, and I truly appreciate all your time. But what has this past 7 days taught you as a Lakers fan, or helped remind you as a Lakers fan about what is so special about being a Lakers fan?
This solidified that habits are real, and the Lakers have had the habit of doing exactly what they've done this last 5 days for years. And Laker fans lost focus on it, including myself. It's not you can't be naive or ignorant, not naive, sorry. You can't be ignorant and not know that even the special general managers or player personnel guys or coaches in the past haven't made mistakes. I always point to 1998, Jerry West drafted Sam Jacobson. At that time, he was the JHS of the 90s, an absolutely horrendous pick. They picked up certain players. You wonder why. It happens, even to the best. And I think the irritation came from wasting the talent that they had. And the talent is AD at the prime of his career and LeBron's extended prime. What the hell are you doing? You want me to put a ball? You need to put a ball gag in that mouth of yours. Is Gerald frozen? Gerald,
I'm good.
there?
I'm here. I'm just like, I am still here.
What's this idiot doing?
Joe had some there, Sean, and leave it to you to be that guy in the back of the classroom that's just laughing his ass off.
I'm not laughing.
Well done, Sean. Well done. Sean, have you got any last thoughts about this past week?
I didn't finish, asshole.
Ooh, he's
Wow.
a little hurt.
Gerald, I'm talking to John. I'm talking to Sean.
Oh, okay.
I'm not talking to you, fool.
I was the one that was interrupting you, so. Okay.
No, Sean interrupted, not you.
I didn't interrupt you.
Yeah, you did.
I did not. Yeah, that was sign language. I wasn't interrupting you. Now you know how it feels.
Sign language.
See, since I can't shut your big fat mouth, what I can do is turn your volume down.
Why would you turn my volume down? It was my turn to talk.
Well, I just don't have any desire to listen to you.
Then leave.
I'm not going to leave. Gerald invited me.
No. If you don't want to be here when it's my turn. What did Shaq say to Barkley?
Well,
you don't go to 1-2 and then back to 1.
It's not your show. It's not your rules. It's Gerald's rules.
Then Gerald can suck one.
What the hell am I getting in?
There you
Don't
go.
get me involved in your
that was
petty
for you.
fights, your kindergarten fights. Go ahead, continue, Joe.
Okay, what was the question before this jackass interrupted?
What has it taught you as a Lakers fan this past week?
I've learned that Lakers are going to do what they do. It might take a minute, but eventually they will get your guy somehow. They'll get their guy somehow. And
I have a circle of trust, Joe. And once you're out,
John, on that note, what has the last week taught you in regards to your fandom with Lakers fan, being a Lakers fan? What has this last week taught you as far as just how good it is to be a Lakers fan?
over the moon, Gerald. Over the moon. Feel
Sean, continue. Okay. These two are going to do a stare down for the rest of the time. All right.
You
What a
opened
way-
Pandora's box, buddy.
What a way to keep all the people listening and watching entertained. Absolutely.
Yeah, we want to keep everybody on pins and needles here because we do that with each other. It's just a reminder, Gerald, that this is why we love sports. It's the unpredictability factor that needs to be respected, but is often put in the back of the mind rather than the front. And sometimes there's a holy shit moment in sports. Trade, a signing, this was one of those. It's just a reminder that when you wear the purple and gold, it's kind of like Maximus being dripped with blood before entering the Colosseum, Gerald. The gods favor you. It's, the basketball gods favor the Lakers.
Is it Lakers exceptionalism?
I don't think it's easy to logically reduce it to that, right? But it's obviously it's a lot more complicated than that. It's I think that's what's the word I want to use? I think that's a paradigm for really dumb people who don't understand the machinations of this, especially of this CBA, Joe. To acquire a player of this magnitude with the financial constraints you were under, and to do it in the shadows, that was equally as impressive as actually completing the transaction. So for people to say that, I mean, I would retort with the Lakers just find a way to acquire a superstar and keep them. The only exception, and he came back because he knew better, was Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's the only superstar who's never decided that he wanted the pressure.
Okay. All right. Well, with that, for me as a Lakers fan,
Gerald, I think that's half the battle, especially when you're a Laker, a Yankee, or Steeler, is that you have to want it. You have to want to win. You have to accept the pressure that comes with it too. Some people are willing to accept it, and some aren't.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. With that, no worries then.
What is
JSJ, all
Laker
good.
exceptionalism? What does that mean?
I don't know. I've heard that for years now because of the fact when you win so many championships, you got again all the list of you mentioned the list of players, Joe, or when your conversation with Stone, and how to some people it's seemingly fixed and rigged how we got this player, this player, this player, this player, and this player. When they don't understand, it just takes a great organization. You usually will get this player and this player and this player, and they're not discerning between the two. What they see is rigged and a failure to understand the failures of their own organizations that they have fandom for, and jealousy of the fact that this, for the most part, again, there's periods of time where it hasn't been, for the most part, is a team that has made the right moves over the course of 17 times now and gotten 17 world championships, Joe. So I think that's what they see as Lakers, or what they've coined or penned as Lakers exceptionalism, is because they seemingly all the good things happen to us and not their team. But it happens for a reason because, again, it fell into Rob's lap. Mark Williams, supposedly according to the report, fell into Rob's lap. Those offers were made to him. He executed those trades. Again, whether you want to say it's Lakers exceptionalism, he got the job done, just like his predecessors got the job done to get all those previous stars that have helped us win so many championships, Joe.
So it's an interesting history. let's quickly go through it before we get out.
Sure.
Jack Kent Cooke owned the Lakers when they acquired Wilt Chamberlain. So that was a different front office. And they ended up winning a championship. Go ahead, Sean.
No, Joe, that's right. I would only say the one guy who kind of is a transference was Burtka. That'd be the only guy. He was
That's
with
good.
different
Yeah. Bill
ownership.
Burtka was instrumental on so many fronts.
Shout out to Bill.
A great guy, by the way. I met him once. Absolutely delight. Just great guy. Then you fast forward to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1975. Pete Newell was the executive for that same Jack Kent Cooke owner. I don't know what Jerry West's involvement at that time was. He had just retired a year early, so I haven't had a chance to really research that. I know that Kareem wanted to come back to the West Coast. I know it made it easier, but nonetheless, they made it work. So within a span of 8 seasons, they ended up getting 2 of the most decorated big men, if not the decorated big men, next to Bill Russell. And those 2 guys ended up helping the Lakers win 6 NBA championships. Then you fast forward to, we're going to go with free agent and trades, not the draft. For the 80s, you could say Bob McAdoo. Bob McAdoo was an acquisition. Bob McAdoo won an MVP, scoring title, was phenomenal. Now, it was on the kind of the last part of his career, but he was integral, especially in the 82 title team. I don't know so much about the 85 team, but 82 for sure. So that was a good pickup, a pickup a lot of people don't think about too much. And I'm going with like A-list type players, even though he wasn't an A-list, but that's, Bob was a Hall of Famer. Because then if I go through the whole gamut, I'm going to have to go Michael Thompson and all that, but Michael Thompson's not a Hall of Famer. So fast forward, you got Shaq. You acquire Shaq in 1996. You acquire Paul Gasol in 2008. You acquire LeBron James. You trade for Anthony Davis. Between Shaq, between Powell, between LeBron, and between Anthony Davis, you win 6 NBA championships. So that's another 6 from those acquisitions. Now, fast forward to Luka Doncic. Everything in history says the Lakers are going to get your guy, get the guy, or pretty close to the guy, or the guy that you really need to help the guy that you have, and they're eventually going to win a championship.
You have a decade of contendership.
Correct.
A decade of contendership.
So as of today, barring a catastrophe and a major injury, because you can never know how that works, that happens. If there aren't any major injuries to Luka Doncic will win an NBA championship as an LA Laker.
Should win multiple.
Should win one, for
Should
sure.
Win multiple.
Should win multiple, absolutely. It's a great history, guys. And before then, you had Jerry West, who was drafted in 1960. In 1959, you had Elgin Baylor. Before then, you had Mikan, who was the face of the NBA at the time. Won 5 championships in 6 seasons. Technically won 6 when they were the NBL before they transferred to the BAA that eventually turned into the NBA. So since the beginning of professional basketball, as you see it today, that's connected, the NBA, NBL, BAA, the Lakers have always been a franchise of winners and franchise of iconic players. And those icons winning championships. The only one that didn't win a championship was Elgin Baylor.
So with that, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers win.
You enjoyed your history lesson for tonight.
I did. Lakers History 101. We'll probably do some episodes in the not too distant future again. At least we'll try to. Maybe for our members. Maybe we'll make it public. We'll see. But once again, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. Lakers win 120-112. Lakers are now 30-19, just a game out of fourth place in the Western Conference. But before we head on out, I want to thank so much the guys who put in the super chat. Of course, JY with the super chat. Also, as well, Mission 24, who gave us a $10 super chat. True, greatly appreciated. Although it would be something that I think Joe would do to Sean or Sean would do to Joe if they were just in the chat. They would send each other a chat paid to for a super chat just to talk smack, as he was talking some smack to Darren on that one with M24. And then last but not least,
well,
yes.
Darren, you open your mouth, you're going to ask for it. We have to deal with it. You should have to deal with it too.
I guess Mission 24 said, I guess Darren sets up the Mission 24. Again, it's our chat. I love you, chat, but yes, when people go out of the way to spend $10 just to say,
we've made each other look like asses plenty of times. This is nothing new for this group. For all you newcomers, I hope you enjoy us.
Okay, real quick, last Lakers question. Then 805, it's got a super chat I got to get to. Who do you guys see as a second star with Luka? Real quickly, JY says Zion after the LeBron Duke connection. I don't know. I see something else. Maybe Giannis.
A mystery box right now. It's a mystery box.
Okay, Joe.
I agree. Yeah, we don't know. We have a clue.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. It could be anybody. So we didn't think Luka was be a part of this team 1 week ago, and I'll just say.
Well, we'll tell you what has to happen. So Jokic and Giannis have the ability to opt out after the 27 season. That's what we know for sure. And those guys will be young enough to definitely still be viable to play with Luka if they wanted to come to LA. I thought it was interesting. They were interviewing Giannis. He said Luka's in LA. He thinks Jokic should be in New York, go to the big markets. And of course, he stopped at himself. Well, what's the third largest market, guys? Do you know?
Yeah, it's Chicago, isn't it?
Yeah. Would he go to Chicago? Would he go to Houston? That's number 4.
So I'll leave this with you guys.
I'm not worried about it. Let's just put it that way. The Lakers will get their guy. History says they will. They will.
So I'll leave this with you. Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Lakers win 120-112. 805 Fillmore in the super chat. Didn't think I would remember it, but I got it. Truly appreciate the super chat.
JY asked a question too, Gerald. Who do you guys see as a second star with Luka, Zion?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Oh, is that the one you read? Okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's one. Here's an interesting one for you guys. Put some thought into it. Would you rather be killed by a pack of wolves or an elephant?
Elephant would be quicker and not get eaten alive.
Sean?
I'd take the wolves because I would freeze to death before they even got to me, like in Call of the Wild by Jack London. He's freezing to death, and he can hear the wolves howling in the distance, but he could die anyway.
The amazing super chats are just one to talk smack on another chat member, and the other to ask if we prefer being run over by an elephant.
Stampede, or yeah.
Abraham, it's not how weak the NBA Insight sources really are. The landscape of information has made those who want to keep things under wraps much more controlled. And Rob Pelinka in that feat adds even more to his what will be a legacy here than the actual transaction in a lot of ways. The fact that he kept it under wraps, not for 2 days, not for 3 days, almost a damn month. That in itself is off the charts amazing, because how do you negotiate that way? What if somebody says, hey, we want this, and you can't talk to anybody on top of that? Because if you would have let Danny Ainge know, that little weasel would have probably leaked it out, right? I have no doubt that mother you would have leaked it out because he wants leverage. So more than the fact that he got Luka, it's almost equal that he did it the way he did.
Joe just brought up something funny. Reminds me of something. You know, they threw those second-round picks at that Peckerwood just to throw him off the trail, right?
I don't see how it was any other way because he was so.
That's what's so funny about
Yeah.
it. That's what's so funny about it.
Because they knew he's always like more. Well, when you start dangling that carrot or that slab of meat, yeah, I'm gonna get 2 second-round picks for some bum for no reason to do nothing. Wait, what happened? What did I do?
There you go. And on that note, guys, it is again the Lakers fast break.
It's like Darth Vader, Gerald, from I think it's what was that one? Revenge of the Sith. No. That was Danny Ainge when he heard that Luka got traded to the Lakers because
and that he helped facilitate it. That's the worst part for him.
Even if the Mavericks didn't want to pay him that money, I don't know, man.
You have to think he's Elvis. You have to think he's Elvis.
He better have been a problem. If he wasn't a problem and you slandered him, you're never going to get a superstar again, guys, unless you draft him. And Dallas has not been known, even when Cuban was running things. It really wasn't known as a place people wanted to go.
A free agent destination.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the hip. He's supposed to be the hip dude that everybody wants to go play for, right? How come I never saw that? We never saw that. I never saw any Giannis's or Jokic. I'm just using those guys as an example. Going to Dallas because they thought, "Ooh, I want to go play in Dallas." No one's done that. Mm-hmm. And why wouldn't you go to Dallas, right? State tax, no state tax. It's Dallas. It's a big city. A lot of activity there. Well, maybe because that's and I knew this, and I've been saying this to other people. And a lot of this, Mark Cuban has kind of a George Foreman life. So whenever I had said, Mark, I told one of my buddies who doesn't follow the NBA, I said, Mark Cuban is a chode. He goes, oh, why? And he was basing his opinion on Shark Tank. I'm like, no. I'm a shit about Shark Tank. Fuck Shark Tank. I said, I'm talking about the sports side of Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban is this innovative, next level type thinker on Shark Tank and all that. But when it matters, he's a whining bitch. And he complains when he gets outdone twice. The second time that, you know what, enabled him or indulged him and that ass face in San Antonio as well. So, yeah, serves them right. After all that, after Luka dropped the 3 because Vlade Divac doesn't know his ass from his ear, and for some reason Phoenix thought, this is 1985 again, we're going to get a big. He got that gift, and he sells the team, and not a minute later, the Lakers get his prize. I think that's just a story in itself, even if we don't know what really happened behind the scenes. That story in itself.
Who gives a shit?
Should have a documentary.
Yeah, who gives a shit what happened?
All right.
All I care about is
Joe. It's a business, and when the Adelsons bought the Mavericks, all they saw was something to add to their portfolio. That's all it is. That's all it is.
And that's the NBA's fault, right? For approving this. Are they going to complain now that these guys are thinking about possibly moving the team and having their little casino thing? The owners of the Sacramento Kings in the early 2000s, they were casino owners. They owned the Palms.
Well, this is nothing new for the NBA. I mean, they allowed Howard Schultz to buy the Seattle Supersonics only to have him sold a few years later and moved in the dead of night to Oklahoma City. So I mean, if you're gonna look at it from one side, you got to look at it from the other too. It's just a business.
Abraham, I'd love to do that, but we've been lighting the candle on not only the both ends, but we started a fire in the middle as well.
Yes.
Now it's like I need to. I've been in this captain seat for freaking I don't know how many hours. I need to
Got an
go.
ass groove in that chair now.
I need to go and stretch my body out. Maybe even do some cardio just to kind of loosen the body up before I take a shower and go to bed.
Same here. And I still got to put this on audio.
And by the way, I
so-
enjoyed every minute of tonight and
Yes.
earlier today and in the morning.
I did
I'm
as
not
well.
complaining. Yeah, this was
No,
a great
I
day.
appreciate it. When you said let's do it again, let's do the trade deadline show again. I said, yeah, let's do it because
Gotta
they
do
like
it. It's a tradition.
Yeah,
We have to try.
I mean, we've been getting some good numbers, and hopefully we can actually bring them higher. But that's all with the help of you guys out there. So please make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and get the memberships if you want, and also as well. But of course, tell a friend out there if they've got a Lakers fan in your life or an NBA fan in your life. There's no better place to go for your basketball inside information and also Lakers information. We'll be back probably tomorrow night because there's still so much to talk about. We've been doing it for a while, but we'll continue to do it as we prep you for Saturday's game against Indiana. Once again, the Lakers win 120 to 112, and we'll be back probably late Friday night stream because we got you covered always right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.
Ooh, pretty colors.